So when Baba Sahib gave us Buddha's Dhamma, it was very well intentioned, and we need to, as a generation, unpack why and also embody the principles of Dhamma, just like how Pratima has and uh, others have, and I haven't had that, and that's been my experience, and I can tell you it has only harmed me in very terrible ways. Even like, I mean, I've been aware of Buddhism, but I was misguided about it. So it is for me to, and like for us as a generation, to rediscover why Buddhist culture created a revolution even in ancient India. I am a legal researcher, and I also work with Buddhist fraternity movement. I'm a first generation Buddhist, so I recently converted. So Pratima, I am a little jealous of your upbringing, but yeah, I have a lot to learn. But one second, I have, yeah, it's a short talk. So I just want to talk about, there are a lot of people who've spoken about Dhamma being an antidote to hate politics today, and I want to add to that. So about 3 to 5% of the population comprising of the priestly class, they dominate all the important institutions that govern us today, be it media, education, law, bureaucracy, even politics. And social psychology research has discovered this term, this thing called critical minority, wherein a small group of well-organized people wield disproportionate power because of cultural resources in their arsenal. When Baba Sahib gave us Buddha's Dhamma, his rendition of Buddha's Dhamma, it was a resource for scheduled caste people to also develop such cultural capital or power and influence. For example, I could never until recently go out and speak like Pratima, because she has cultural resources, and this is what every single young person has to aspire towards. Because without that, we feel empty in this world. We feel empty when we go to college, we feel empty when we go to school, we feel empty when we go to workplaces. There we are very easily susceptible and vulnerable to other people's cultural habits, which are in fact harmful to us, because that's where we internalize casteism. That's where we internalize inferiority complex. So when Baba Sahib gave us Buddha's Dhamma, it was very well intentioned, and we need to, as a generation, unpack why and also embody the principles of Dhamma, just like how Pratima has and others have, and I haven't had that, and that's been my experience, and I can tell you it has only harmed me in very terrible ways. Even like, I mean, I've been aware of Buddhism, but I was misguided about it. So it is for me to, and like for us as a generation, to rediscover why Buddhist culture created a revolution even in ancient India. Baba Sahib has given us, I mean, his call to educate has created agitation in our communities. We are very angry, and rightly so. But I don't think mere anger will serve us. We need a positive culture to organize around in order to provide a front, a challenging front to the culture that oppresses us, right? So that when we are amidst culture that is created to oppress us, we can stand up as human beings, as opposed to just angry, reactive, reactive people, we have something to offer in turn, that we have our Dhamma to offer in turn. Because we are only fighting against people, we are not we wouldn't have anything to stand for if we don't have the Dhamma. We don't learn the principles of Dhamma, we don't embody the culture of Dhamma and share it with a community. So yes, and Baba Saheb envisaged the viharas as resources to where monks could flourish and thrive and grow in their Dhamma and share the merits of their Dhamma with the rest of us. That is the spiritual aspect of it. I mean, there is the, engaging social activities that would bring youngsters, sure, but that is only one step of it. But we also need to take the spiritual aspect of it very seriously, because we are dehumanized by casteism. It is our duty and work to rehumanize ourselves. That is our very fundamental duty, I think. Being born in Bahujan bodies, that is our karma in Buddhist interpretation of karma, not the Brahmanical one. Yeah. So yes, so Buddha's Dhamma is a fertile ground on which we can develop and grow a very healthy anti-caste movement as youngsters. We have energy, we have time, we may not have money, so at least in that way we have a lot to contribute. So that's also where we can channelize our energies towards. And yes, also when we start earning this concept of Dhamma, it's coming to me right now, I'm understanding and practicing. I'm trying to practice a little by little. It's hard, but we need to start contributing even in terms of what we earn, so that the viharas can be independent. But that's also a practice, right? I can't, nobody can preach about it, but we'll have to see why that concept of dharana exists. So yes, I will end this speech with the quote by Baba Saheb, which is very relevant to this conversation about viharas and Buddhist culture. The battle to me is a matter of joy. The battle is in its fullest sense spiritual. There is nothing material or social to it. For ours is not a battle for wealth or for power, but it's a battle for freedom and the battle for reclamation of human personality. And I think that's what Dhamma is for this battle, to reclaim our human personality. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me and for this opportunity to talk to you all.